Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a journey into R.K.Narayan's very first novel, Swami and Friends.
A classic.
Absolutely. And our mission really is to explore how this, well, seemingly simple story does more than just introduce the iconic town of Malgudi.
Right.
It uses that setting quite cleverly as a lens to examine, the intricate relationship between nature, human, society.
And even the impacts of colonial rule, which often fly under the radar in simpler readings.
Exactly. And we're basing our insights today on a really insightful research paper that looks at the novel specifically from an ecological angle.
And this is where ecocriticism comes in as our sort of guide. It's an interdisciplinary field, really took off in the 1990s.
Okay.
And it focuses squarely on the relationship between our environment and, well, the stories we tell. Cheryl Glotfelty, the key figure here, she put it quite simply.
How does she define it?
As the study of the relationship between literature and the physical environment. Simple, but powerful. And at its heart, ecocriticism aims to raise awareness about environmental issues and, importantly, our human responsibility in protecting nature.
And we'll see how Narayan weaves that in.
Definitely. You'll see how Narayan does exactly that in his narratives, sometimes subtly, sometimes, well, quite overtly.
Right. And R.K.Narayan himself, he's such a foundational figure in Indian literature, isn't he?
Oh, undoubtedly. One of the first popular Indian novelists writing in English.
And celebrated for taking, typical Indian subjects and just masterfully bringing them to a global audience, made Indian culture accessible.
He really did. His body of work is just vast. 14 novels, over 70 short stories, essays, simplified epics.
But maybe his most beloved creation is Malgudi, that fictional town.
Ah, Malgudi. Graham Greene famously said it first brought India alive to him.
Which is incredible praise, and it really feels like a microcosm, doesn't it? Not just of India, but maybe the world, in a way.
I think so.
Yeah.
And while Swami and Friends, on the surface, it seems like this charming story about a schoolboy, Swami.
His adventures, friends, family, all that.
Exactly. His school life, interests, fears. But a deeper look, the kind this research paper takes, reveals so much more.
Okay, like what?
Well, the novel actually gives us this profound understanding of Narayan's own views on nature and its, undeniable impact on human life.
So Malgudi itself is key.
Malgudi itself functions as a complete ecosystem, basically. Yeah. It represents that deep interdependence of nature and people.
And all the relationships within it.
All the dynamic relationships between the elements. Mm-hmm. The place, the people, animals, birds, forests, trees, the whole thing.
Right.
The novel really highlights nature's role in our lives and, crucially, how humans treat, or sometimes, let's be honest, mistreat nature.
So let's dive into that landscape. And Narayan crafts Malgudi with such detail, doesn't he? It really grounds you.
He does. The descriptions are so vivid.
When we look at the urban settings, you get the sense of a town sort of in flux, balancing tradition and modernity creeping in.
Yeah, you see places like the Albert Mission School, described as this dismal yellow building.
A symbol of colonial discipline, right?
Exactly. Then you have the bustling Malgudi railway station and the Sarayu Bridge, which is called the Pride of Malgudi.
That's a lovely touch. It sort of underscores how civilizations often grow up around rivers.
Precisely. It showcases that coexistence, nature, and human-made structures side by side.
And there are other spots, too. Nalapa's Mango Grove, the different streets like Kabir Street, Abu Lane.
Where Manny lives, in that low-roofed, dingy house, contrasting with Lawley Extension for the richer folk.
Right, named after a British engineer, Sir Frederick Lawley. Even the Tan Hall, a symbol of modernity, and the trunk road leading out.
To Trichinopoly, yeah. That symbolic link to the outside world, bringing urbanization closer.
So what's compelling, as you mentioned, is how these descriptions aren't just descriptions. They're symbolic.
They absolutely are. They represent different facets of Malgudi's ecosystem, and especially that coexistence of Indian and Western cultures.
Like Abu Lane.
Think about Abu Lane, yeah. Narayan describes it, with a donkey standing near a gutter, a cow munching a leaf. It's picturesque, almost.
It shows humans and animals just living together.
In absolute coexistence within these busy, everyday spaces. It's a snapshot of a certain way of life.
And it's not just the town center. He takes us out to the rural surroundings, too.
Which provides that crucial contrast.
You read about the outer limits, that streak of water under a culvert, the paddy fields stretching out.
Mango and coconut groves. Very evocative.
Even the deserted trunk road in the summer heat, those occasional country carts trundling by, it sets a scene of, well, rustic simplicity.
And then there's Keela Cherry, the coachman's area.
Right, contrasting sharply with Lawley Extension, full of thatched huts, dingy hovels.
And described as having a general malodor of hencoop and unwashed clothes. Very earthy.
So this contrast, urban and rural, it's key to understanding Malgudi's ecosystem.
It's absolutely crucial. It highlights the coexistence, but also the interdependence of these areas.
They need each other.
Exactly. And the research paper we're drawing on points out that Narayan really seems at his best, quote unquote, when he's describing nature in its pure and rustic form.
That's where his observation shines.
It really does. In those rural scenes, his keen eye for the natural world, sort of unburdened by human stuff, is just crystal clear.
Okay, now let's explore those descriptions of natural elements more, because they reveal something profound, this dual quality of nature the source mentions.
Yes, this is fascinating. Think about the Saraya River again.
That serene evening scene.
That one. People branches, birds crying, cattle crossing, that soft red sunset. Narayan paints it so vividly.
And the sounds, the river's rumble, the leaves rustling.
And how that atmosphere, the half-light, brings the three friends, Swami, Mani, and Rajam, to perfect peace with the world.
It really shows nature's power to bring harmony, doesn't it?
A clear demonstration. But nature isn't always serene in the book.
No, that duality, like the summer heat.
Exactly. Narayan describes Malgudi as one of the most detested towns in South India during summer. Roads deserted between noon and 3.
But the kids still play out in it.
But interestingly, the children like Swami and his friends, they dare to walk and play right on those roads, even in the heat. Fascinated by it, perhaps.
Or think about the forest. Initially, Swami's quite drawn to it.
He is. The thin forest with its white ball-like wood apple, green figs, and the deep purple eugenia.
He even eats the fruits there. Nature is a giver.
Nature as provider, yeah. But here's where Narayan really digs into the psychology of perception. It gets really interesting.
How so?
Because that same forest transforms completely. It becomes terrifying for Swami when night falls and he's alone.
Right. The fear isn't from something obvious.
No. It's from the stillness, the sharp rustling noise of his own feet on the leaves, the bird's wings fluttering. It all combines to create this deep, ghostly fear.
And the description of his footsteps is amazing.
It's wonderfully evocative. His feet came down on the ground with a light tick or subdued crackle or a gentle swish, pish, 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 swish, and crackled. You could almost hear it.
So those repetitive sounds, in his mind, They
become sinister whispers. They lead him to imagine a devil or some immense monster.
Which turn out to be just tree trunks.
Exactly. And his imagination just runs wild elephants, snakes, tigers, leopards, lions, even whales and demons attacking him.
Wow. So what does this tell us then? What's the core insight?
Well, it really reveals how our internal state, our mind, profoundly shapes how we perceive the external world.
So nature itself isn't inherently scary.
That's the argument. The incident perfectly illustrates nature's dual role. It enchants as well as frightens us, depending upon our mental status and context.
It's our mind creating the fear.
Precisely. The source puts it bluntly. Nature never frightens us, but it is our mind and the context that evoke the emotion of fear within us. It's about our internal response, not necessarily an external threat.
That's a powerful point. It makes you think about our own reactions to, say, being alone in the woods.
Absolutely. How much is the environment and how much is our own projection?
And this connection, this idea of our inner world shaping things, it links to a broader philosophical point the source raises, Swami's concern for fellow living beings.
Yes, the paper boat incident.
Right. His paper boat, which has an ant on it, it wrecks.
Right.
And Swami doesn't just move on.
No, he performs these symbolic last rites for the ant, takes a pinch of earth, says a little prayer for its soul. It's quite touching.
And this is seen as symbolic.
It's interpreted as representing a core Indian spirit, this idea of equality among all living beings. It connects to deep philosophical roots.
Like the Bhagavad Gita.
Exactly. Chapter 6, verse 29 talks about true yogis seeing the divine in all beings and all beings in the divine, seeing the same self everywhere.
So Swami's act reflects that.
It displays that common Indian's belief that all living beings are equal and have soul, as the source puts it. It's a reflection of deep ecology, the idea that all life has inherent value.
beyond just its use to us.
Precisely. Intrinsic value.
Okay, so shifting from the purely natural to the social. Malgudi is also shaped by its social ecosystem, right? Swami's friends are key here.
Definitely. His group of friends gives us this great window into the town's social fabric.
You've got Somu, the confident monitor, Mani, the mighty good-for-nothing,
With his wooden clubs.
Sankar, the brilliant one, Samuel the P, the Christian boy, and then Rajam.
Rajam, the new kid. Son of a police superintendent, very polished, well-dressed.
Socks and shoes, fur cap, tie, coat, knickers, even a car in good English. He brings a different vibe.
He really does. And these friends, they represent different social levels, different communities, all living together, mostly harmoniously.
And Rajam, with his sort of European influence, the airgun versus Malani's club he's seen as
an external element, according to the analysis, that initially disturbs or changes the existing ecosystem of Swami's friendships. He shakes things up.
Then their houses reflect their status, too.
Beautifully illustrates the social and economic differences. Rajam's bungalow in Lawley Extension.
Compared to Swami's reasonably spacious house or Mani's low-roofed, dingy house in Abu Lane.
And then the workers living in places like Kilechuri. It paints Malgudi as this harmonious landscape balanced with areas of different classes and sections of society.
It's interesting, though, how even with these differences, the conflicts that do happen among the kids seem normal. They get resolved.
They do. Harmony is reestablished. And often it's Rajam who takes the lead in patching things up.
And that itself is symbolic.
Precisely. It represents the inherent, balancing nature of human society. There's a lesson there, the source suggests.
Which is?
That humans, who are often the cause of ecological or environmental imbalance, well, we also have the capacity and maybe the responsibility to take the initiative and settle those imbalances.
Mirroring the ecological theme.
Exactly. It's a social parallel.
And beyond friends, the novel really highlights family too, doesn't it? Human relationships.
Oh, yes. The relationship between Swami and his grandma is a great example.
Where he feels safe and secured in the lap of his grandma.
It's portrayed as this symbol of harmonious intergenerational connection, typical of joint family systems. That sense of belonging, of safety.
And the novel shows different kinds of bonds, too.
It does. It subtly shows how attachments vary. Swami's school friendships might fade after school ends.
But his connections with Rajam and Malayani, those feel deeper.
They're described as more human attachments, suggesting a more enduring bond beyond just circumstance. It really emphasizes the different layers of connection in a community.
Okay, so building on that idea of disruption and balance within the social system, the research also unpacks the impact of British colonial rule, how it affected India's ecosystem, using Malgudi as that microcosm.
Yes, this is a major thread in the analysis. The Albert Mission School, for instance.
We mentioned it earlier, the symbol of discipline.
Right, seen as discipline and authority. And the English education system itself is framed as a colonial tool.
A tool that belittled the native Indian culture. Swami even feels it just takes away the delicious freedom of Saturday and Sunday.
A small complaint, but telling. And the analysis provides really specific, quite powerful examples of this cultural disruption.
Like in the classes.
Exactly. History class. Full of foreign figures, Vasco da Gama, Clive, Hastings, no place for native people.
And the scripture period.
Dominated by Christian teachings and, well, vehement criticism on Hindu scriptures and gods.
There's that infamous quote from Mr. Ebenezer.
Yes. Oh, wretched idiots. Why do you worship dirty, lifeless wooden idols and stone images? Can they talk? No. And so on. Criticizing Hindu deities, questioning their power against invaders like Muhammad of Ghazni.
Wow, that's quite direct.
It is. And the source argues this vividly shows colonial forces using education and religion to try and destroy the ecosystem of India in the social and cultural spheres.
Making native Indians feel inferior?
That seems to be the deliberate aim described.
Even sports get pulled into this.
Apparently so. The fascination with cricket, a British game. The forming of the Malgudi Cricket Club, the MCC, mimicking the Melbourne Cricket Club.
It was just a move away from traditional Indian games.
That's the interpretation, yes. Part of that broader cultural shift under colonial influence.
And the economic impact is touched on, too.
It is. When Swami and Mani get involved in that anti-British freedom struggle, they learn about the brutalities of the English rulers against the peasants and artisans. So it paints a picture of systemic disruption across different spheres.
Yet, despite all this, the colonial presence, the cultural clashes, Malgudi somehow still shows this remarkable capacity for coexistence, doesn't it?
It really does. That image of motor cars and bullock carts sharing the same road is quite symbolic of that.
The old and new, side by side.
And while the analysis does acknowledge some urban domination over the rural areas, like that incident where the boys threaten a cart driver,
right,
the more striking feature that Narayan seems to highlight is this fundamental harmonious coexistence of urban and rural people.
And religious harmony, too.
Absolutely. Specific examples are given. Swami's friendship with Sam, the Christian boy.
And Mr. Akbarli.
And his relationship with Mr. Akbarli, who Swami calls a nice Mohammedan, partly because he condemned figures like Muhammad of Ghazni and Aurangzeb as rascals.
So this symbolizes
the enduring, harmonious existence of religions in the Indian social system, even amidst all the external pressures and disruptions. It's quite resilient.
So to wrap things up, we've taken quite a journey through Malgudi today.
We really have.
We've seen how R.K.Narayan, right from his first novel, Swami and Friends, just so skillfully portrayed the natural world and revealed that intricate symbiotic relationship between all the different elements of its ecosystem, urban, rural, animal, human.
Western Indian influences. It's all woven together.
It really is.
And it's abundantly clear, I think, that Narayan's keen observation of nature and its deep connection with human beings, it's just visible throughout the novel.
Which makes him
an eminent writer of nature, as the source calls him. And it makes Swami and Friends a really important ecological text, even if it wasn't explicitly written as one back then.
It shows how nature isn't just a backdrop.
No, it's a vital backdrop and an active influence on the human experience, constantly interacting.
So here's a final thought to leave you, our listeners, with. If a fictional town like Malgudi can be understood as this complex, interdependent ecosystem, what does that teach us about the ecosystems we inhabit?
Both the natural ones and the social ones in our own lives.
Exactly. What stands out to you about that delicate balance we see in the book? The balance between, say, tradition and change, or maybe between our own inner world and the external environment around us?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely something to mull over. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.